And welcome into another episode of What Hope Sounds Like. My name is Brian. Today we're picking up where we left off in our last conversation with Garrett and Jacq from CLINE. They had stepped into a calling that didn't look anything like they expected. But in this part of their story, things get a little harder. The road gets uncertain, and their faith is stretched in a whole new way. Let's jump back into our conversation with Garrett and Jacqueline from CLINE.
This is one thing that I hate about Jacqueline. Is she listens to Jesus faster than me. And she said, I'll never forget, she said, Garrett, we have such a beautiful opportunity to trust God right now.
The only way we were going to survive is if he did a miracle.
Sincere, just as sincere as she could be.
Like so
and I was
exciting.
like,
It clicks fast for her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, through our church, God provided for us. They took care of us.
Yeah.
They made sure our needs were met.
Yeah.
And we felt like God reassigned us in that season.
That's so important, and that's so key to this to this story and the situation, because you talk about facing that challenge. The thing about COVID was it wasn't just you guys. It wasn't an individual thing. It was the whole industry.
Yeah.
And the church was facing that too.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? We can't. They're telling us we can't gather.
Yeah.
They're telling us that we can't get together. You know, it was an opportunity for everybody to just lose their minds.
Mm-hmm.
And you're exactly right. That was the point where there's been several things within the last few years that I feel like as a community and where we live and as a nation that like this is what God has been preparing us for all along, whether it's COVID, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's wildfires, whether it's whatever situation, a situation in your own life. So how beautiful is it to play out and Garrett to have a support system right there that reminds you of that really quickly.
Yeah. And I was like, well, the electric bill don't take prayers. That's what I was thinking, just to be honest with you.
I guess we'll find out.
But our church took care of us, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you hear a lot about church hurt, and hey, if you're family with people, you're going to have family problems.
Right,
Yeah.
But
church isn't perfect.
Church is not perfect,
Yeah.
but man, they stood there with us through all that. And so we started writing.
We had time and space to again.
Felt like God reassigned us.
Sweet.
The very first song we wrote in COVID was a song called Worthy One. And that's the song that opened all the doors.
Well, and it was the very first co-write, too. Like, I had never sat in a space. I always wrote our songs.
Right.
We kind of wrote like a band up until then.
rock
Okay.
band.
Yeah.
Did that.
Yeah.
But this was a very different experience, very holy, and then it's been really a cool journey from that moment, you know.
Yeah. But that song really gave us opportunity to just have other relationships, and you know, so we started telling these people, these Nashville people, like, man, I think God's reassigning us, and I think we're gonna release this music, and you know, it's a genre change. It's a, you know, and they all think we're idiots. You're gonna leave arena touring, hit songs, and country music to go start your whole life over in your 30s to do Christian music. Yeah. And we say, yep. That's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And people just kind of thought we were crazy. I kind of thought we were crazy too at certain points of the process. But it was just so clear this is what God wanted us to do. So fast forward, we think we're kind of done with touring in the country world. Well, the first tour back, we get a call. And it was kind of ghost town. Like, it wasn't like we were all hanging out with Dylan's camp. Like, nobody knew. Everybody was kind of every man for themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And almost 2 years too.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Our first tour back is Luke Bryan. We're gonna go do direct support on Luke Bryan tour.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Talk about jarring.
I'm sure.
Because we really did.
Like, I thought we were done.
This is it.
Yeah.
You know?
And we prayed about it and talked about it, and we felt like, we need to go do this.
Yeah.
Didn't know why. So we go do it, and dude, I tell you, man, there's a lot of stories about Luke Bryan.
Yeah.
I think he should teach a class to pastors on how to love people. This man loved people. I'm not saying we should. I'm not lifting him up as a moral excellent. I don't know him personally like that. You know, I'm just saying the dude loves people.
Yeah.
And it taught us a lot of things about loving people on the road from a secular artist.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you know, here we are on this Luke Bryan tour. Luke's keyboard player, Scotty Wilbanks, who's Third Day's keyboard player, was for 12, 15 years.
Really?
He just did the Third Day tour. Scotty Wilbanks plays keys. So I meet Scotty, and I'm like, we're eating catering one day. in the back of some festival, and I was like, Scotty, he's produced everybody. He produced Consumed by Fires first.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like,
first things first.
First things first, yeah. And I'm like, Scotty, I know every country manager. I know all the country PDs. I don't know anybody in Christian music, and I feel like God's calling us Christian music.
Mm-hmm.
And he introduced me to Cam Pumphrey, who is president of Roundtable Management.
Okay.
Some of your favorite artists,
familiar,
are managed by these people.
Roundtable,
Yeah. We the Kingdom and Carrie and Cody and all these people.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam introduced us to Lot Schutte, who is helping manage us now.
Yeah.
So I met all the people that we needed on our team by going on tour with Luke Bryan.
Wow.
Please, somebody write that story.
Make it make sense. Yeah.
And so this is just a continuation of Yeses on the Table. So so we did that for about another year, and then it became. I don't know how to explain it, and people listening will, if you've ever felt like, I want to quit this job, but God won't let me.
Yeah.
That's how we felt.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one day, we felt released.
Yeah.
And it was hard.
Yeah.
But it's the confirmations that we see, like when it clicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're in that moment of, I really, like you say, I really want to quit this job. Why am I not able to move on? Why am I not able? But when you do, when God gives you that glimpse of, hey, this is what I've done and this is what I'm doing, it just makes it just come full circle and just, what would we miss out on if we forced our own will on ourselves?
Absolutely.
And I want you to touch a little bit on back in that space, and you're in that area you talked earlier about seeing people that just need hope, need to find that source of hope. What stands out? Is there anything particular that stands out from you? An interaction that you have with somebody, a relationship? Maybe it's somebody that you still keep in touch with to this day, but you're somebody or something's like, we're praying for that. We're praying for this to happen.
Yeah. The first thing that popped in my mind, because a lot of especially as Dylan became more successful, there was, for good reason, there was a lot more separation between like fans and him, or, the going to the merch table after the show stopped.
Right.
And so there was less like interaction with people. Most of the things that happened backstage with crew guys, other people's bands, those kinds of things. And the thing that popped out to me the most is there was a guy that was on the road, and he had been in a pretty successful Christian band, and they weren't touring anymore. And he was this isn't Scotty. I mentioned Scotty. This is not Scotty.
So you're talking about Third Day,
because I'm about to say some stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I'm about to say some stuff about Third Day.
What did
right
Mac
now.
do? Like,
yeah, let me tell you what Mac did. No, I remember me and Derek sitting down with this guy, and he was just so like jaded and broken, and like maybe he wasn't anti-Jesus, but he was definitely, he wasn't participating in the body of Christ, and he, he was trying to play guitar, make a living, and his family was broken, and I remember being able to just sit there and go, hey, we do the same thing. And we serve the same Jesus, and you can have a restored family. You can do this and not party. You can do this and have a great marriage. You can do this and love your kids. You can do this and lead worship at church on Sunday morning. And I think that's the first thing that popped in my mind, was like meeting people who had actually tried to escape Christianity. They're trying to escape. Ultimately, they're actually trying to escape God. God's chasing them down. But the way they process it is, the church hurt me. The Christian music industry hurt me. I'm jaded. My record deal didn't work out. I got fired from this one Christian artist was actually kind of a jerk to me. I mean, we hear those stories, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not genre specific. There's jerks everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
And being able, because they would not have listened to me if I was in Christian music at that time, but because we had what they perceived as success, earthly success, in country music, we had their ear. And so we were able to say, we've maintained our family, we've stayed faithful to our wives, have great relationships with our kids, we're pretty healthy, not that this isn't hard, but like you can follow Jesus and still do what God created you to do and use your gifts for him.
Yeah.
And those are the things I think that happen the most. I think a lot of professionals that don't work in maybe like Christian environments, they think, well, I'm a Christian as long as it's not from 9 to 5, and I have to win and be cutthroat, and it's actually like you can serve people
for sure,
whether you're a CEO of a business or a guitar player for a country band or whatever genre you're in. And I think we were just able to show people like Christian music wasn't for Christian musicians, and country music wasn't for secular musicians.
Yeah.
Like you got to do the work God assigns to you that day.
Yeah.
And that day I was eating pretty good catering.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But
I was talking to this guy, and I'm hoping that those type of interactions we had showed people that you could be restored.
Yeah.
You know, like that there's a path back into. It's not you don't have to go get another quote unquote Christian record deal.
Yeah.
You don't have to go work for a Christian organization or a church. Like you can serve Jesus, and whatever you're doing that day, I believe in a sovereign God.
Yeah.
He assigned you to it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I sleep at night.
Yeah.
You know, because it's, you know, it's not easy what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's difficult to, you know, I'm missing a baseball game tonight for my 8-year-old, and he's a stud, and I love him, and it's
the one and only though. It's okay.
Yeah, I feel called to be here tonight. You know,
Yeah.
like I gotta trust God to reconcile that, and that's, you know, you talk about hope. All we got's hope.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, and if you've ever been in a situation where hope is really gone, man, I'm gonna cry about it. Sorry.
It's fine, man.
My best friend passed away when he was 31 from lymphoma. Had a 90% chance to live. Okay, he still died. And that was the first time in my life I thought, oh, there's no hope.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the most extreme case of being on earth and going, oh, this is it. Like he knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
We were picking out songs for his funeral together, you know, and that's when I learned. I was like, oh, this is what it means to have eternal perspective. Because even this, there's still hope here.
Yeah.
You know, he still knew how this was.
Focus changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Changes all that.
Yeah,
So
shifts.
you have something like that happen, you back down from all that. You know, the church hurt stuff.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
But there's still hope.
Yeah.
Because God's plan for us isn't the Christian music industry. It's not that you're that I have a bunch of hit songs. God's plan for us is the church, right?
Yeah,
The
that's
big
right.
C church.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's always hope,
Yeah.
you know? And I think just bringing hope into those like dark situations was that was the coolest part of that whole experience. And God let us, we were talking last night, is like I'm a striver, you know, by nature. Like I want to win, whatever the thing is, I want to win.
Right.
And God let us win some things in country music to show us that, like, that's not my plan for you.
That's fun,
I'll let
exciting
you
everything,
have
but
it.
here's
That's
the real
cool.
thing.
Take the picture. That's great.
Yeah.
But what I really need you to do is go minister to those people backstage. you know?
Yeah.
And I just think we learned all that, and it's just crazy how I don't even know how we got here today.
Yeah.
From that, all that, you know, it's just insane
that
to me.
makes sense. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's God.
Yeah.
That's how God
Do you
does it.
still keep in touch with any of the girls and stuff from
my
college?
Goodness,
Jacq?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've gotten to see several of them get married and have kids, and it's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Good. Yeah.
That is so cool. Well, you touched kind of the direction that you're heading today, and you mentioned a lot, and you mentioned some of the connections that were made through your time there, and here you are back to your roots, I guess you can kind of say,
absolutely.
from where God started you. And it's you're talking about building that platform and that foundation with family and your upbringing, and he takes you on this wild ride, and now you're coming back into this space and continuing your ministry, and you're stepping out on faith. You know, there's right now there's no record label, which the industry, you know, determines and defines what artists think they should have in a certain way that they should do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, no clear roadmap. Talk about that right now, what that looks like for you guys, and kind of how you're stepping out on faith.
Day by day.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly...
Don't you wish we had this 3-point presentation for everyone?
No, because that's not how it is. Like, I do pretty good with being okay with not knowing, everything.
Yeah.
There's some things I really want to know about, but the day-to-day I handle pretty well. Garrett struggles a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Being still is hard for him.
Yeah.
But we are getting to do that, and it's been really healthy for us. Because when talking of COVID, like, that was the first time since we had known each other that we had a time to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so, although COVID, yes, it was hard.
And it was very bad for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
People in our community died.
Yeah.
Dear friends died.
Sure.
It was also such a time of like forced stillness and healing for a lot of people because you couldn't go do anymore.
Right.
And so for us, that was such a sweet time because we got to sit still for, it felt like too long at that point, but for a good amount of time, more than we'd ever gotten.
Yeah.
And I feel like this season, God is being so kind to give us time and space. And I hope that means that there's work, that's coming. But I was sitting outside yesterday and I had the space to just listen to a sermon and pray for people, the people that I would be connecting with today, and asking God, seeking God on, okay, God, what is it that you have for this gathering?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do and partner with you for this time? And honestly, there just wasn't a lot of space for that before. And so I just kind of sit in it and I say, okay, I don't need my phone for the next 2 hours.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter, like, nothing owns me anymore.
Yeah.
I allowed things to own me, and like, it's just God at this point. Like, He is the first on the agenda. And so I enjoy that. I enjoy that I have space to go, I'm shutting everything down and I'm just going to sit here with you, God. And but at the same time, like, I'm still meeting with women from church. I go to the gym every day and talk to whoever's in the space with me, and I ask them about their faith. And so there's just a lot of space to do ministry in a very natural way for me versus a staff, if that makes sense. Like, there's no expectation of what ministry is supposed to look like in my life
right
now.
Yeah.
And so I just, every moment is like, okay, God, what's next?
Yeah.
You know, and
it's like this time of life, it almost feels like a hold on loosely but don't let go kind of thing, I guess. Get some of that. It's we've never been here before. And the only reason we're even able to do this is our local church. I mean, they've just held us up and supported us, and this year specifically, like, they freed us of some of our, all of our staff responsibilities that were kind of our Monday through Friday roles, so that we could, like, be here today. And they're still supporting us to do this.
Literally the word that our pastor said was, you got to be all in.
And it's just odd. It's just like, I always thought that, back to, everybody's just going to laugh at me after they hear all this, because I've probably said this 3 times, but it's like, you just kind of think A plus B equals C. We're going to leave country music. We're going to have a record deal. They're going to tell us what to do. And that's how we'll do ministry. And God's like, I mean, how would I ever get to meet somebody at Light FM? It's like, I don't have a record deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
No, you're right.
I don't have a radio
that's the industry,
promo person.
That's the industry thing. The record label brings,
Yeah.
you pick your
There's a
artist
path.
and you shop them around and tell all the shiny
And
thing in the
I
window.
I love all the industry stuff. Like, I have great relationships with people, and maybe we do have a partnership someday, but it's like, God just keeps going, I'm doing this a different way.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this a different way.
New
and you
thing.
can fight and scream and beat your head against the wall, or you can just trust me and you're still going to go to the same places, And I'm learning to, Jacqueline says I can't chill out. And that's been the season.
He can. It's hard.
Is my pastor literally said to me when we kind of started this transition out of, like, our staff roles at our church, he said, Garrett, I don't even know how he knew to say this. He's like, I know you're frustrated. I know this isn't all going the way you think it should go, but you've been diligent. You're a hard worker.
Yeah.
Just do what God tells you to do, and it's going to be fine.
Man.
I mean, this is my lead pastor and boss.
Yeah.
Double.
Yeah,
We got
yeah,
double-edged sword here,
Yeah.
telling me to, like, dude, loosen up, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I just think we're really fortunate to have that kind of leadership,
Yeah.
I guess, in our lives, you know, and have that kind of support. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Well, you and now find yourselves out on tour with Rhett Walker.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Talk about that, how that happened, and what that's been
Your
like.
guess is as good as mine, man. Tell you what, you know this. Sometimes you just kind of find your people,
Yeah.
you know. And we had actually met Rhett a long, long time ago.
It's funny, we're having a lot of these full circle moments.
Full circle.
Yeah.
We met.
Yeah.
He had come to a youth camp we were leading worship at. We had some mutual friends, and he was just, his pastor at the time was the preacher, the camp preacher.
Yeah.
And so we met, and a couple of guys that used to play in his band took our places in the Dylan Scott band. And a couple of years after that, here me and D are playing with Rhett.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
No swap.
We didn't plan that. But no, so after we exited the country scene, you know, it was about a year almost of like no shows. We didn't get off one bus and go get on another one and hit the road. Like there was a season of waiting.
Which, yet again, that's what we thought would happen.
Yeah, I
Right.
thought,
Yeah.
season of waiting. Well, we had connected with a lot, Shooty, and you know, he's an artist manager and just been around forever and worked with people like Third Day and Need to Breathe and on and on and on. Hope Darst.
Currently Hope.
Yeah. And so Lot's like, hey, would you guys do this tour? Would you be interested in this tour with Rhett Walker? I think it'd be really cool. Like if Rhett's coming by himself, if you and Derek could kind of be his band, and then you could like open the nights.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So I had one phone call with Rhett, and I was like, oh, this is going to be the best thing we've ever done in our lives, you know?
Yeah.
And it was.
It
Yeah.
was. We
And
had a
so,
great time.
so me, Jacqueline, Derek, Rhett, and a like a sound guy.
Yeah.
Our first run was like in a Sprinter van. So we did the whole fall of 2024 together. Got to the end of the year, thought that was kind of it. And Rhett said, again, you know, no booking agent,
Yeah.
no, you know, no record label, no radio single. As you know, that's how you get
Right.
concerts, is
Yep.
you got to have a radio single.
Right.
And Rhett's like, well, would y'all come out with me this year? I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I got nothing else going on, I
Yeah.
guess. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go do it. So we did all of 2025 with Rhett.
Yeah.
And then the whole fall, listen to what Rhett did. So you know this. You were there. This was every night. This wasn't special. Okay, every single night, Rhett got on stage. In the middle of his set, he stopped his show
Yep.
and let Jacqueline come up and sing Worthy One.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we got to have this worship moment. Talked us up like we were casting crowns. I mean, he talked like we were the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Every single night, we met new people every night. He just championed us. I mean, and just lifted us up, lifted us up, lifted us up.
Yeah.
He made an opportunity that the gatekeepers in Nashville weren't ready to make for us.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he didn't care that he wasn't getting nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And I could go. I'm gonna leave out a bunch of details of how good he was to us.
Yeah.
But it was unbelievable. And so, you know, Jacqueline got to do her first bus tour,
Yeah.
you know, and she learned some hard lessons about what you can and can't do on a bus tour.
Okay.
All right.
What's lesson number one?
Oh, tell them you can't.
Can't poop on a bus.
Oh, there's a no-fly zone
That's
for that, huh?
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
women
just
don't
like-
like
Are
that.
you talking about like for yourself, or is that out of respect for the rest of the
No,
people on the
that's
bus?
just
It's a
a
camper.
rule.
Oh,
It's a
that's just
camper
the rule.
toilet. There's
Yeah.
no grinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Okay.
You
I
can't.
find this out the night I'm getting on the bus.
Jacqueline found that out from RW himself on night one. So if Jacqueline needs to use the bathroom, she's got to go tap the male bus driver and say, "I gotta
And you know
go."
what?
Yeah.
I have two boys. My best friends are two guys.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm like, nobody wants to go tell the bus driver, hey, can you pull over so I can go?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
So, yeah. So anyways, you know,
But I did figure it out. There's ways to
Get around
do
it.
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
yeah.
Rhett, you know, Rhett gave us opportunity
Yeah.
to the point where people are calling, you know, the few people that know either Rhett or Lot or even us personally, they're going, how did you get on that tour?
That
Yeah.
has been
And
my
I'm like-
most favorite part about
Yeah.
our story.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
most of the time in the conversation, someone's like, "So wait, what? How did this
Yeah.
happen?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "God,
Yeah.
God
it's
lived.
His plan.
God really did all
Wow.
this, you know,
Yeah.
and he's just unbelievable. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys know him well here
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
area, but it's just I can't wait to do that for someone else.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
Well, and
how
that's the
we
thing.
should
You were
be.
talking about Rhett doing this, but he was just being a servant himself and what
Yeah,
God
that's who
has
he is.
entrusted him with,
Yeah.
and he was following the
Yeah.
Lord's call on that.
What-
And look what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's the thing I love about Light FM, and I've told you this privately. I like saying things to the public, like you do things like Jesus would do it,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Like Light FM's whole mission vision. You know, there's a sign out here with the mission statement, and it ain't got nothing to do with radio singles or Momentum or CMB. And I know nobody knows what that is. Probably your listeners don't, but
Yeah.
you know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing about the work we do.
Yeah.
It's about the Great Commission.
The
Yeah.
heart.
That's right, brother.
And none of us are excused from that.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Rhett. That's what I love about you.
Mm.
We got to play the Grand Ole Opry with Rhett.
Mm.
Wow.
I got to play it a bunch with Dylan Scott.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And I thought that was over for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was a really cool thing. I was like, man, I'll never do that again. And guess what God did? He let me go play Man on the Middle Cross
Got to
on the
do it
Grand
with
Ole Opry.
Rhett.
Mhm.
Wow.
And Rhett got on stage and shared the gospel
Yeah.
Mhm.
at the Grand Ole
Praise the
Opry.
Lord, man.
Like, I was like, okay, let's go.
This is
These are
it.
the kind
Yeah.
of people. And Rhett will tell you, he may not be the richest, most famous. He may not have the most hits, blah, 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 blah.
Mm.
But I'm telling you right now, God uses that
He
dude.
does, man.
Because Rhett, no matter
Yeah.
where he is, whether it's a big old church in North Carolina
Yeah.
or the shed we played 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
in Arkansas,
Yeah. Yeah.
that dude gets on stage and serves the Lord and
Mhm.
serves those
He
people
does. Yeah.
and loves his family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's been really good for us to see up close. He's led us into all that.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of artists, you know, the traditional thing is you have a hit song
Yeah.
and you get a record deal and you get a booking agent and you get a manager and they tell you what to do and you go do it and you get out there before you're ready
Mm-hmm.
or before you know what to do or before you even know what you're
It's
specifically
like
called to
your
do.
character has to catch up to your talent.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just
yeah.
think it's been really kind of the Lord to let us start our career again
Yeah.
at 35, 36 years old.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like man, you're not going to give me something shiny enough to make me turn away from what God's called us
Yeah.
to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
I just think that's cool about Rhett, about Light FM, about these people we keep kind of finding along
Yeah.
the way, you know.
God puts his people together, man. Even in the uncertainty, God was still moving. Such a great conversation. And we're really excited for next week as we air the final part of our conversation with CLINE. What came next was something they never could have planned, but exactly what they needed. You don't want to miss it. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to What Hope Sounds Like wherever you're listening to. That helps us spread hope to so many more people listening. We appreciate you joining us today, and that is What Hope Sounds Like.